Hi, welcome back to our channel. Are you a new puppy owner or about to become a new puppy owner and feeling overwhelmed with what you need to get for your puppy? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you all my essentials for bringing a new puppy home. So if that's of interest to you, keep watching. So I know it can be super overwhelming with what you need to get for your puppy, and depending on the breeders, some breeders will give you a guide with what to get. But if you go into any pet store, they're usually very, very helpful. So I thought that this would be a great video to make to kind of give you all a list of what you should be going into the pet store with to think about before you go in there so you're not feeling overwhelmed. Wanted to start off by saying some people come in and they'll spend so much money, buy everything. And I always recommend to people, just get the essentials. And then once you have your dog, you get to know your dog, you can start to pick up other things. You can bring your dog in to pick out toys, or, you know, just as you go, get more things, but you don't need to buy everything all at once. Okay, so we're gonna get started. And in no particular order, I'm going to start with poop bags. So poop bags are an essential thing you are going to need if you get a puppy, because you're gonna be walking the dog and you wanna get, you know, used to having these with you all the time. You can also get the little like tiny things that can attach to their leash, and they come in just little, show you. They could just come in little packets like this, and you can put them in the container, or what I do is I just take them and I tie them in a knot on the leash. And these are really good ones. You can get scented and unscented. I personally like the unscented. I find the scented quite strong. Now there are poop bags you can get at the dollar store. I don't find that they work as well in terms of, like, these say 100% leak proof. I don't find the other ones are as durable of a material, especially if you're going on a long walk and you're carrying the poop for a while. So I find that these are really good. These are for 120. They are $7.99 Canadian dollars. Okay, next we'll go to treats. Okay, so when customers come in, they can get really overwhelmed when looking for treats and they don't really know what to get. I usually recommend going with a treat that has one ingredient, two ingredients, just to keep it simple and the healthiest that you can. So these are very popular ones. These are by the brand Crumps, and these are just beef liver, and these are actually training treats. You can see right there, they're really tiny, because when you're like training your dog to go pee and poo outside and you're doing training classes, you're giving a lot of treats, and that's a lot of extra calories. So when they're this small, it kind of helps with the portions. So that's a very popular one. Another one is just a different brand, Pure Bites, and this is duck liver. They have tons of different flavors, but these are all just one ingredient as well, and you can break those up. So I really like that. And then another popular one that I give to my dogs is Benny Bullies. Now these ones come, it's just a big size bag because I got it on sale a while ago. These ones come in bigger treats, so I'll show you. They kind of look like this, but these are super easy to break up. And then you can just portion that out. And the Benny Bullies has a bunch of different flavors. So for a package of these are $5.99. These are $6.99. I do recommend, if you know you're going to be getting a puppy, and the treats don't go bad for, what is this? Like, usually it's about this is 2022 that these go bad. So what I recommend is just start watching pet stores if they're having a sale, and then try to get the treats when they're on sale, because that really does help with the cost, because all this can add up to be a lot. So, and you don't need to buy a ton of treats all at once. You know, you could just buy 1 or 2 bags, see if your dog likes it. If they don't like that flavor, then, you know, to try something else the next time. Okay, so next we'll go on to dental. So it's really important when you get a puppy to get your dog used to having their teeth brushed, having your fingers in their mouth, so that you can, you know, continue to keep up with good dental hygiene, especially with smaller dogs. They get quite bad teeth, and you want to stay on top of it. So if you get them used to it as a puppy, it's not going to be as difficult as if, you know, you haven't done it for years and years, and then you try to do it and your dog's like, what the heck are you doing? So there's a couple different options. There's toothpaste that you can get. This one's peanut butter flavored. You can also get a gel. They are all very similar. And then there is a finger toothbrush. This is like 75 cents. So this kind of helps you and your dog get used to, you know, your fingers being in their mouth, which is also a good thing to get your dog used to so that, you know, you don't have any aggression problems. So you would just put the toothpaste right on there and then put it in their mouth. And, you know, even if you're not really doing anything, it's just getting them used to that. And then a toothbrush. So this is like a smaller one if you have a smaller dog, and then this is just a bigger one, and you would just put the toothpaste right on there and brush, brush, brush. It's a very good thing to get in the habit of, and like this is $1. This is $1. The toothpaste I think was $10, so not a lot. That'll last you a really long time because you only need a little bit. So it's very good to start off with dental hygiene right from when you get the puppy. So next would be bowls. So you're gonna need 2 bowls, one for water, one for food. This is just a 1 quart. They have a lot of different sizes depending on the size of your dog. If you've got a smaller dog, you can get much smaller bowls. If you have a bigger dog, they have much bigger ones. These were $3.99 each. Great bowls. The only thing I don't love about these ones is they don't have a rubber bottom. So if you've got like a tile or hardwood floor, they're gonna slip around a lot. So like this one I got from the dollar store, it has the rubber bottom. It was, I think, $3, $3.50, and it's about the same size. So you definitely are gonna need 2 bowls, and it's definitely important to always have water out for your dog, especially during the day, not at night because they might pee more, but during the day, always important to have water. Moving on to collars and leashes. So with the collar, I usually recommend and tell people that they're gonna probably have to buy 2 collars. So this is one that I just picked up just to show. It's a small and it's $15.49. And what I usually recommend is that you get this and you have enough room so that you can adjust it as they grow. And one thing, my mom is a dog groomer, and she says that a lot of puppies will come in and their collars are so tight because their owners don't realize that they're growing so quickly. They're not adjusting the collar, especially if it's a hairy dog. They sometimes don't even realize how tight the collar's gotten. So you just want to always make sure as your puppy's growing that you're checking that, and there should be at least 2 fingers are able to fit underneath, and you can feel that it feels comfortable. And most people do know that once the dog is full grown, they're going to have to buy a collar for them at their full size. So generally I tell people it's going to be 2 collars that you're going to end up buying, but this is just a regular nylon clip. I recommend the clip because it's super easy to use. And yeah, it's just a great collar to have on them all the time. And then they have really cute patterns, and you can get matching leashes. So I find that super adorable. This leash doesn't match, but most leashes are just 6 feet. And this is $21.99, and there are different styles of leashes you can get as well that can like clip around the waist or a leather leash, but I recommend for a puppy just going with a nylon leash like this is great. And with the collars and leashes, if you watch pet stores, they tend to go on sale a lot, so if you just keep watching, you'll definitely be able to get these on sale. Like I know that this was on sale when I bought it, 20% off, and they usually go on sale like every few months. So if you know you're getting a puppy, keep your eye out for that. And then another super, super, super important thing, especially for puppies, I recommend is a name tag. This was one I had done for my dog. But getting a name tag, if you know your pet's name or if you haven't decided on the name, it's still super important to get your phone number on there, just because if your dog did get out of your backyard or got away from you when you're outside, it's super important that they'll be able to bring the dog back to you, because the dog's not going to know where it lives. So very important to get a name tag. I think this name tag was these go on sale a lot as well. This was about $10, and it comes with the engraving. You can engrave it right there. So even if you haven't got the dog yet and you haven't picked a name, you can always bring this back to the pet store and engrave it once you've decided on that. So super important, and that it just easily, like you would take this out and then there's a little ring and it just clips right onto there, and then you're all set with the collar, leash, and name tag. Now I'm going to talk about brushes. So with the brushes, it's all going to depend on the coat that your puppy has. Most puppies don't really need to be like really brushed or dematted or anything. It's more just to get them used to being brushed and the feeling. So I usually recommend, depending on the coat, this is a slicker brush. So this one comes in firm or soft pin. Don't mind my dog's hair on there. I think this ranges from about, I don't know the specifics, but I'm going to guess like $5 to $6. And these go on sale all the time as well. Now I usually pair this with a comb. I'll put a picture here because I don't have one with me right now. But it's good to just get them used to the comb. The comb will find the mat, and then this is what helps to actually get the mat out. But like I said, a puppy's not really going to generally have mats. It's just really good to get it used to being brushed so that when they go to the groomer, they're not like, what the heck are you doing to me? So if you have a double coated dog, I generally recommend a Furminator. They just look like that. And this is like a brush, but it does have a blade in there, so it helps to pull the undercoat out. So I do suggest that you be careful when doing that. You don't want to do too much because you can start to actually take their hair out. So just be careful. And these do tend to be a little bit pricier, but they're definitely worth it, especially if you have like a dog with a very thick undercoat. So these are great brushes. I would recommend, like I said, mainly to just get them used to the feeling of being brushed. Another good thing to have on hand is puppy shampoo, just in case, you know, your dog gets muddy, gets dirty. And it's also super important to get your dog used to being bathed, because depending on the coat of your dog, if your dog doesn't need to be groomed, then it's a little bit different. You won't have to bath as frequently. But if you are getting a dog that needs to be groomed and you don't bath it until it goes to get groomed, it's probably going to have a tougher time because it's not used to the water. It's a whole new experience and it can be super stressful for the dog. So I always recommend, you don't have to do it very frequently, but even just doing it, you know, once a month will help your groomer and you a lot. Just getting your dog used to the water, being, you know, like being shampooed, all of that being dried. It's just super important because some dogs can get very, very fearful. So this is a good one. It's a puppy one. It's scented with coconut. It's a hypoallergenic one. This one's soap free. Very, very popular brand that I like to recommend, and it's good for cats and dogs. So, well, it just says puppy shampoo, but there's a cat on the front there too. So yeah, this is one of my top ones for puppy. Now on to toys. So this is where a lot of customers like to go overboard spoiling their new puppy with toys. I generally recommend them to just pick a few, and then once you get your dog, let your dog play with them, see how they like them, because all dogs are kind of different with what they like. So I'll go through the ones that I generally recommend. A very, very popular one is the Kong puppy. Kong is a very popular brand. So this Kong is specifically for puppy. It comes in blue and pink, and it comes in a smaller size than this as well. And you can, there's like a hole right there, and you could put peanut butter, you can put yogurt. Kong itself has a brand that you can get things that go inside it. So there's like Cheese Whiz. There's also a peanut butter one. You could put treats in there. And then if you put this in the freezer with either the peanut butter or yogurt or whatever and give it to your dog, it's going to take them way longer and it's going to keep them occupied for quite a long time. So that's a great one. Another one I really like is the Nylabone brand. They have puppy specific ones. So this one is just more like a teething one. And a tip with the Nylabone actually is when you're purchasing it, it'll say the brand, that the flavor. And then down here is kind of a guide for how durable the toy is. So like this is a gentle chewing style. So it's on the lower end. So it's softer for puppy teeth. Whereas like this one is extreme chewing style. So, you know, as your dog gets a little bit bigger, you can start to give them a little bit more tougher chewing toys so that it lasts a bit longer. Another tip with this one, it does have like the ribbed edging, is you can put this in the freezer and then give it to your puppy. And especially as they're teething, they want to eat everything. It will feel really good on their teeth. And then another Nylabone one that I really like is, it's just like a power chew. So as you know, people will have their dog for like 5 months and then 5 or 6 months, and they'll come and be like, my dog is chewing everything. What can I give them that will last a little bit longer, that isn't an actual like chew? Like I don't recommend antlers personally for a puppy because it's just so hard on puppy teeth. So I find that this is a really good alternative. And you can see that here it's more on the extreme side. So, and if you like, you can feel the material there if you go into the pet store and see them. And it's it's a harder material, and they do chew on it, and it's great for their teeth. All my dogs love them. They go crazy for them. So I find that those are great ones. And then with plush toys, Kong has really good plush toys. I mean, there's tons of really super cute toys. I did forget to go over the pricing with these though. I'm going to quickly go back and do that because I have the receipt here. So this is $12.99, $9.99, $8.99. And then this I've had for a while. These are about, they come in 2 sizes, this one and a bigger one. And I think this is about $10.99. But I did want to point out with all of these 2 things. One, you can get these on sale just like the same amount as you can with the leashes. They go on sale all the time, so just keep watching for that. And my other tip with toys is I tell customers to just be cautious with the toys. You always want to be watching your puppy chewing on them, because just in case anything happens, you're there. If they choke, whatever, it's super important to be there. It's also good training to be able to take the toy away from them, give it back to them, so there's no aggression developing. But I would never leave any of these toys in the crate with my puppy if I left. I don't agree with that. I find that just to be on the safe side, you don't want anything to happen while you're not home. I always recommend being there to watch them as they are playing with the toys. Moving on to crates. So some people choose to crate train, other people don't. I'm personally a fan of crate training. All my dogs, they don't have to go in the crate, but they will go in the crate. They love the crate. One of my dogs, it's like his little safe place. I leave the door open. He'll just go in, lay down in there. But how the crate sizing works, so I'll put the sizing guide here. And a lot of people sometimes don't know what size do I get. So how the rule of thumb is, you get the crate size for the size of the dog it will be when it's full grown. So it comes with a divider inside the crate with all crates. Not the travel crates, only the metal crates. I will put a picture of the crates I'm talking about right here. So with that, they'll come with a divider, and how the divider works is you put the divider in, and then the dog can go here, and then all this space is not used. The dog can't go there. And with that, the dog should be able to stand up, obviously, turn around, lay down. You don't want them to have too much space, because then they end up going in one end, peeing, and laying in the other end. So it's really to help with training to go pee and poo outside. And then as the dog gets bigger, you just gradually move the divider back and back until you don't need it anymore. And then once you don't need it anymore, some people choose to no longer use the crate, or some people have the crate still available for the dog. And with that, as you're training, a lot of people will be like, well, I want to give my dog a bed. I personally, no, some people will disagree with this, which is totally fine. I just recommend usually like putting in like a towel or an old like bed comforter or something, because a lot of the beds that people get, the dogs end up chewing. And you don't want the dog to chew it, or they might pee and poo on it, because at the beginning they're going to have accidents in the crate. So I just usually recommend like an old towel. And then once the dog is gotten bigger and is over its chewing phase and isn't going to chew the bed, then buy it a nicer bed. So that's my rule of thumb. And you can also get, like, if people are leaving for the day and they don't want to have their dog locked in the crate all day, you can get an exercise pen, which I will put a picture of it here. And that comes in different sizes as well. And that can actually attach to the crate. So if the crate's like this, it will go around the crate to kind of just give your dog a bit more room. So it'll still be able to go into its crate, and then it can go in and out of the crate, but it's in a confined area, which some people even get that just to have like the dog, to put the dog in there so it can be in more space, but they don't have to like keep a solid eye on it 24/7, which is super helpful. And with the crates and X pens, they go on sale as well a lot too. You just really need to watch for that. And with the crates, you can also get them on like Marketplace, Kijiji, and they're relatively decent priced. Now with the crates though, they do fold up, but the metal ones are not as good for traveling. So if you're looking for more of a traveling crate, then there's the different style. They don't come with the dividers, so I don't usually recommend those unless you're actually using it to transport the dog back and forth somewhere else. But with those ones, you can't divide it. You would just have to get a little bit bigger of a size for the dog. I've covered everything except the last one would be food. So generally, depending on your breeder or where you're getting your dog from, they will tell you the food that they're feeding. Some breeders will actually give you a little bit of the food to help with the transition, or tell you ahead of time what they're feeding so that you have the time to go pick up the food for your dog. And some people will they might not like the food, so they'll just get enough, and then they'll get a new brand to help with transitioning. So if you do want to change the food, I recommend going into the pet store and asking questions. You can watch my how to pick your dog food video, which is super helpful. And I mean, there's tons of different options for food, and you ultimately have to be the one to pick what you would like. But that is where I kind of start with, is what the dog food, what it's coming from the breeder, what food they're on, and kind of gauge where you want to go with the food. I hope this video has been super helpful. If you could kindly give it a like. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about or anything else, I am happy to answer them in the comments. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will be coming back with more videos. If you have any recommendations for videos, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day.